Hiya dudes, welcome to Moles and Rabbits for today's phonics learning with myself. Today we're going to be looking at another of our phonics phoneme families and thinking about how we can use the graphemes to spell the sound in different words. Now yesterday and the day before we had families with just two members in, or two members that we've met so far anyway. And these families were quite nice and easy to learn because we had similar rules for both of them. We had a mum who was being quite bossy, belonging at the end of the word, telling everybody else what to do. Then we had another family member who belonged in the middle for some reason. Today's family, there are three members of the family. The only problem is these family members are all quite peaceful and they share the workload. So there really isn't much of a rule when spelling this phoneme for today. So coming up on the screen, you should be able to see the phoneme picture for today. Hopefully it's there now for you. So here is the picture. I wonder if you could make the action and say the sound that matches the image you can see on the screen. What is it, everybody? That's right, it's the sound. Now, what letter do we use to spell the sound? That's right, we use the letter N usually, and this is the only grapheme we know so far when spelling or reading the phoneme. Now, sometimes you may see two N's together, but this is usually when we have added a suffix to a word, like ing or ed or y to the end of a word. So this isn't usually a spelling choice, but it's something we do sometimes use when we're applying other spelling rules. So today we're going to learn all about the phoneme and which graphemes can be used to spell it. Now this phoneme spotter has some sounds hiding in there. And you need to try and find all of the words that have that sound and see if you can identify which letters in those words are making the sound. I'm going to give you a clue. There are 4 different groups of letters that are making these sounds. I'm going to read it aloud to you and then you can have a little hunt for all of those phoneme words that are in there. Nanny Nora went down to town to get herself a new knife. When she was there, she saw a gnome in nice clothes. The design of the sign said the gnome cost £9, but Nanny Nora knew she could get it for less. So pause the video here and see if you can find all of those words in the phoneme spotter. Hopefully you managed to find quite a few. And on my screen now you can see I've coloured blue all of those words that have the phoneme in them. So there are 3 members to our family. There is little girl N. We can see we have our dad KN and our mum GN. What unusual graphemes! A G and an N working together to say and then a K and an N working together to say How unusual! Now, like I said, you may have noticed as well that we also had 2 N's working together to make the sound. Now that is when we are using one of our suffixes. So like in nanny, the Y at the end has almost become a suffix, and that short vowel sound meant we doubled our letter N. So this isn't usually a spelling choice we use, but I've popped it in anyway, and you can see that little girl N has become double the trouble, and that's why we can see her twice. It might be when she's having a little bit of a wobble at home, and then we're seeing her letter twice in the word. So we're going to be reading some words today with these graphemes in them, just to try and help our brains to remember that the G and the N and the K and the N digraphs exist and that they represent the sound. So we're going to sound talk some words on the screen together, blending them as we read, and then you have a task at the end to have a go at using these different graphemes to spell words. Let's get those sound talking hands ready. Show them for me. I know you can see me super small on the screen, but I hope you can see my sound talking hand ready. And remember, as we tap out one finger on our hand means one letter is making the sound. Okay, so we can see one letter making the sound we're saying. This 2 fingers is our digraph. That means we can see 2 letters making one sound. If we put 3 fingers up, that's right, it's 3 letters making that one sound. And then if we split 2 of our fingers up, it means it's a split digraph. There might be some of those in there today. So Sound talking hands ready? Let's have a read of that word on the board. D, panda. So there is that letter N making the sound. Let's have a look at our next word. Is it eel? Keneal? Oh no, I need to remember the K and the N is working together here to make that sound. Let's have a go using this digraph. E-ul. Kneel. It's like I kneel on the floor. Let's have a look at the next one. This is quite a long word. We're going to break it down into two parts. We're going to read the first 3 graphemes. That's the first 4 letters. And then we will blend it. And then we'll read the last ones. Off we go. Ch, I, ul, chill. D, r, e, n. Dren. Clap it back. Children. Children, just like yourselves, you are children at home doing your learning. Well done to you all. Remind me, I can see a G and an N. I wonder why they're blue in this word. What sound are they making here today? Oh, of course, they're making the sound. I've got to remember they're working together as a digraph. Let's say this word together. Gnarl. Someone gnarls, they might show you their teeth. They're gnarling at you. Okay, let's have a look at our next word. There's that G and that N again. We remember what sound they're making. Off we go. Sign. Did anyone notice another letter that was making one of its unusual sounds? The letter I was making the I sound, not the I sound. It's not sin. It's I, sign. Good job, everybody. That G and the N working together to make that sound at the end of the word this time. Let's hear that sound talking. I wonder if we could do our robot voice. Are you ready? I, knife. Which 2 letters is making the sound? That's right, it's the K and the N. They are saying Good job, everybody. So we've got the word knife here with our digraph KN. Or we've got another word here. I wonder, could we use the Queen's voice for this one, everybody? Are you ready to sound talk? Wonderful, off we go. Oi, noise. Which letter is making that sound today here? Correct, it's the letter N making the My queen isn't as good as your queen. You're definitely much posher than I am. Let's have a go at the next one. Okay, here we go, everybody. Oh, I don't know what voice to do here. In fact, you decide which voice you'd like to do, and I'll see if I can hear you. Everybody together. Knuckle. My goodness, I heard some silly voices there. I hope that gave you a little bit of a giggle this morning. Yeah, we've got a knuckle, like our knuckles on our hands. Fantastic. And another word here. Are we ready? Let's do our quiet whisper voice. Are you ready? Off we go. Need. I don't think I heard you. Can you do your super loud voice? My goodness, that was so loud. Yes, you've got it. Need. The word is need. Not the type of need where we say, I need to have a bath, but the type of need where we might need our bread or our dough, when we're making bread. It's that type of need. Okay, ready to have another go for me? Off we go. Gnome. Good job. If you also noticed, as well as that G and the N making the sound, the split digraph O in there too. Good job. Are we ready? What sound is that G and N making here? You've got it. Off we go. Gnat. Those are like those little flies that kind of annoy us, especially in the summertime when it's getting all warm and hot. So that's us. We've read all of our words today using the G and the N digraph and the K and the N digraph. Now you're going to have this sheet to have a go at today. I have put some pictures into boxes and they represent words that you have to try and spell. Now, like I told you earlier, there isn't really a rule for when we use the G and the N or the K and the N in different words, other than the fact that the K and the N usually only comes at the beginning of a word. The G and the N can go at the beginning or the end, but the letter N on its own can kind of go anywhere it likes to. Okay, so you're going to say the word that matches the picture, listen carefully and write down all the sounds you can hear, trying to think carefully about how you're representing them. You know which grapheme you're using, so also think carefully about the other graphemes in the word. You might even want to try a few different ways of spelling it before you write it in the box. So you can write it a few ways, see which one looks correct, and then write that one down. I have put the answers on Teams as well, so your adults can see what I meant by the pictures, because I know sometimes it's really hard to imagine what somebody was thinking just by looking at those pictures on the board. So for your first one, for example, is a snake. So you will sound talk snake, snake, and then try and write each of those graphemes that represent the phonemes that you just heard in the word. So that's your challenge for today, and I'd like you to try and apply some of your words into sentences for me. Can you try and write 3 sentences, one using a word with the letter N, one using a word with the letter GN, and another using a word with the letter KN? That's your challenge for today. I look forward to seeing your learning, and then I hope you enjoy the learning for the rest of the day. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you again on Monday. Take care, everybody, and see you soon. Bye-bye.